welcome back to the channel. This is Everyone's Game, brought to you by Sports Haven Media. Today we're going to have a look at our Matchday 1 UEFA Champions League fantasy team. We're going to look back at that team, look at how many points we got, and then we're going to move on to the Matchday 2 Team Selection. Don't forget, we have a league that you can join, challenge myself, challenge the team, see how far you can go, if you can beat our team as well. So the league code is on screen as well as in the description below. We also have a Predictor league where you could see how well you are able to predict the final score of all of the matches. Don't forget, you could also find us at the links below in terms of the Twitter, the Instagram as well. So find us, follow, like, subscribe, all of those things, and let's get into our video. On screen we have the Matchday 1 team. We got 85 points, and I really think this is a really good starting point. We had a really good Matchday 1. Got a lot of points. I feel like most people would have gotten around 50-60 points, so this is a good points tally. We had Jude saving the day for Real Madrid, also saving the day for my team, because for 90 minutes I somewhat regretted changing my captaincy from Haaland to Jude Bellingham. However, he was able to get that last minute winner to gain the player of the match as well as those goal points as well. We also had Rodri and Saka doing really well to secure 10 plus points. In goal we have Kepa. Kepa was my safety keeper, so if you look back at the Matchday 1 team selection, you would see that I had Wellenreuther as my other keeper alongside Kepa. When the team selection, when the lineups came out, I would have switched Wellenreuther for Blaswich. The only reason I didn't pick Blaswich in my team selection was because we weren't sure if he was going to be starting. I felt like Leipzig had a better opportunity to keep a clean sheet, and unfortunately he didn't, but that was fine because Kepa was always going to be that backup option for me. Also in defense, the only player I felt like very disappointed by, or two actually, would have been Fran Garcia and Denzel Dumfries. Fran Garcia started every game for the season before, and suddenly he was benched on Champions League night. So that was just a bit annoying because we were all certain he was going to start. He was the only player in that position. However, he ended up just being benched, came on and got 1 point. We also had Denzel Dumfries, and if you remember in that video, I said it was a 50-50 option between going for Dumfries and going for De Lorenzo from Napoli. And I ended up going for Denzel Dumfries, hoping he would have gotten an assist, gotten a goal, but he didn't rack up those points. Meanwhile, De Lorenzo scored a goal in that Napoli fixture, so it was just a bit annoying to see that. If I trusted my gut, could have gotten probably 90-95 points. However, this team was specifically chosen for Matchday 1. If we look at the fixtures in Matchday 2, you would see that most of these players, play against each other, and they have somewhat difficult fixtures. We have Barca playing against Porto, we have Leipzig playing against Man City, we have Inter Milan playing against Benfica. The only actually good fixture that I think I have in terms of the players that I have would be Saka with Arsenal against Lens, and even right now we're not too sure if Saka is going to be starting. Even though he was pictured in training, he more than likely will start. He is still somewhat of a doubt, so I feel like knowing that I picked this team specifically for Matchday 1 and it did achieve its purpose, it got me the points that I wanted, this team is not going to do the same for Matchday 2, which means I'm going to either have to take a lot of hits to make this team Matchday 2 ready, or I'm going to have to use one of my chips. So between the Limitless and the Wildcard, I'm more leaning towards playing my Limitless. I feel like this team is one that is going to be able to perform well in Matchday 3. If we look at the fixtures in Matchday 3, we have Man City playing against Young Boys. We also have Barca playing against Shakhtar Donetsk. We have Real is going to be playing against Braga. So I feel like the players that I have are really good players and they could perform against the teams in match day 3. However, match day 2 is such a difficult fixture for most teams that I'm going to have to make some changes in order to get the points that I want. So in terms of changes, the only one thing to note is I could possibly play my wild card. I'm like 99% certain that I'm going to play my Limitless. But if I decide that I do want a player like Sane in match day 3, and I don't currently have him in my match day 1 team, then I'm going to have to make too many changes in order to fit him in my match day 3 team. So that's the only other consideration, playing the wildcard to ensure that I have the players not only for match day 2 but also for match day 3. But that's a consideration that I'll fully decide on when the lineups start coming out. So what I'm going to do is just show you the players that I'm definitely taking out of my team once I play my Limitless. As you can see, Kepa, Blaswich, Rom, Fran Garcia, Nathan Ake, Xavi, Nico Gonzalez, as well as Victor Osimhen have been removed from my team. I think I can keep Kepa. However, once I'm on Limitless, there's no point in me keeping Kepa in terms of Real playing against Napoli, who is going to be a very strong side as well. So I could just switch out my 2 goalkeepers and get a duo that's going to have possibly an easier fixture or a better chance of getting me at least save points. One of the reasons I might keep Kepa is because I know he could get the save points. As of right now, these are the 2 goalkeepers that I'm thinking of bringing into the team. So we're going to bring in David Raya and Ter Stegen. Arsenal plays on the Tuesday and they play against Lens. I feel like they're going to have the stronger team and they're going to be able to hold Lens off. And once they win against Lens, they're going to really set up themselves for possibly progression, because they're going to have put themselves in a really good position in terms of their group table. So David Raya, I think he kept they kept a clean sheet. They kept the clean sheet against PSV. He got some save points as well, so he seems like a good player for me to be bringing in, as well as Ter Stegen plays on the Wednesday. Like I said, Porto is a good team. They're gonna give Barca a run for their money. However, Ter Stegen is also going to be able to rack up some save points as well. The only other keeper duo that I'm considering would be to bring in Oblak from Atletico Madrid, who plays Feyenoord, and to keep Kepa, who plays Napoli. But as of right now, I do feel like I want to bring in David Raya. He's going to have that opportunity to keep the clean sheet on the first day, and if anything, I'll bring in Ter Stegen on the Wednesday fixture. Moving on to our defense. In defense, we have Alphonso Davies, Trippier, as well as Gabriel coming in. However, my defense is the most uncertain in the sense that even though Bayern is playing against Copenhagen, I feel like they're going to be able to keep a clean sheet. I'm not too sure if I want Alphonso Davies for certain. However, more than likely, he's going to be in the team. We also have Trippier. He's been on fire for the FPL league. He's had assist after assist after assist. So even Newcastle is playing against Paris Saint-Germain, I feel like once Kylian Mbappe is fit, he's going to be able to get goals past Newcastle. However, we're bringing in Trippier for his attacking potential. We also have Gabriel. Like I said, I do feel like Arsenal is going to be able to keep a clean sheet. They're going to be able to whole lens off, and they have the added motivation of progressing well in their group. So I want to bring in an Arsenal defender to cover any potential clean sheets apart from David Raya. The only other options that I see that I could possibly bring in as well is I could also bring in Ruben Diaz or one of the other Man City defenders, even though they may not keep a clean sheet. Ruben Diaz as well as some of the other defenders could rack up some ball recovery points. But as of right now, I don't want to put in another Man City defender and not be certain if they're going to be starting or not. So for as of right now, this could change based on any news that comes out before the actual deadline. But as of right now, this is what my backline is going to be looking like. Moving on to the midfield, this is what my midfield is. These are the players that I'm going to be bringing into my midfield, because I am really hoping they're going to be able to bring in some goals and a lot of attacking returns. One of the players that I was lacking in Matchday 1 would have been Leroy Sané. I did not want to attack the Bayern Man U fixture, so I said I was going to hopefully try to target him for Matchday 2 against Copenhagen, which is going to be a much easier team for Bayern to be against. So we definitely have to bring in Leroy Sané. He's also one of the players that I want for my Matchday 3 team because of the fixture that Bayern also has. However, if I play my Limitless, I'm going to have to bring in Sané on one of the transfers. So that's one of the reasons I'm considering playing my wildcard, because I want to be able to set up my team for the next couple of game weeks. I'm also bringing in Bruno Fernandes because Manu is going to be playing Galatasaray, and I feel like Bruno Fernandes is one of the players that's going to be able to bring in some attacking returns. He's also going to be on penalties, I believe. So for the moment, he's in my team. However, what I'm going to do is if Saka doesn't play, or if it comes out that Saka isn't going to be playing, I'm going to switch Saka for Martin Odegaard. What I could also do is, if I decide to play Oblak as well as Kepa, I'll be able to bring in Martin Odegaard instead of Bruno Fernandes. And I feel like that is the option I'm leaning towards, so I could have both Odegaard and Saka with Gabriel as my 3 Arsenal assets. And I'm not a person that backs Man U, and because of that, like, I don't put Man U in my team. Man U is like one of the teams that once I don't support them, I don't have their players in my fantasy teams. But that's a different conversation. So with this, we have one more selection to go, and that is going to be our forward selection. And obviously, this forward, we have to put in Harry Kane. So let's just bring him up. There's just no other forward that I feel could make an impact in Matchday 2 as much as Harry Kane. He's already had around 8 goals for the season, a couple of assists as well. And when we look at the other forwards in the game, yes, we have Mbappe, who's going to be playing Newcastle. It's going to be a tough fixture. Mbappe also went off injured over the weekend, I believe. So it's not certain if he's 100% fit for the match. But Harry Kane against Copenhagen, Harry Kane in fine form at this point. I really feel like Harry Kane is someone that we have to have in our team at least for Matchday 2. And when you look at Bayern's fixture for Matchday 3, he's also very appealing in terms of the fixture that they have for Matchday 3 as well. So for me, this is my current team. Like I said, there are some changes that I might make based on the team news that comes out. I'm not 100% sold on Bruno Fernandes, and I might switch David Raya in order for me to bring in Martin Odegaard, because I have 3 Arsenal players, I have 3 Bayern players, I think I have 2 City and 2 Bayern players. Of course, we have Jude in the mix there as well, but I do feel like this is a better team that I had started off with. Let me show you the changes that I could possibly make, and tell me in the comments below which team you think is the stronger team. So I'm gonna bring in, let's pull up quickly the Martin Odegaard, and I'm also going to change my keeper to, let's bring in Oblak, and let's also bring in, let's recover Kepa. Alright, so this is the second team option that I could possibly have. Of course, in defense, I could also bring in Molina. I could also bring in Ruben Diaz and make it a City triple up. So you've seen both of the teams that I could possibly go with. Let me know if Team A or Team B in your mind is the stronger team, and let me know any team deliberations, team decisions that you have to make in the comments down below. Obviously, when you're picking your team, ensure that all of the players that you have in your Tuesday team selection play on that day, and everyone who plays on the Wednesday is on your bench. All right, make sure you also select, you can use this option to make sure that you see the dates clearly. Make sure you select a captain that plays on the Tuesday as well. In terms of my captaincy, Leroy Sané or Harry Kane will be my captain for that Tuesday fixture. And if by some chance they don't bring in the points, I think I'm probably going to captain Lewandowski or Haaland. I feel like teams are finding ways of closing down Haaland and isolating him from getting the passes to score the goals, and that's what we saw in Wolves game. That's what we saw in the last couple of games. So I may try. I think Matchday 2 is really the time for you to differentiate and find some other player to put your captaincy on. I'm hoping that Harry Kane could get maybe a hat-trick, Leroy Sané as well. So hopefully I would not have to pick a captain for Wednesday, but if I do, more than likely I'm going to put it on Robert Lewandowski. So this is my Matchday 2 team selection. This has been everyone's game. Make sure you join the league. The codes are on screen and in the description as well. And make sure you find us on Twitter. I had briefly lost access to the Twitter, but I have recovered it, and that's where I'm going to be posting my final team selection right before the deadline, when I've made all of my deliberations or my changes. And that's where you could ask any team question, team news that you would like. So you'll get a response there if you ask your questions or ask your team selection dilemmas over on Twitter. So thank you for watching. This has been everyone's game. Make sure to like, subscribe, share. Let us also know what sort of content you would like to see from us, and look forward to the Women's Super League fantasy videos that will be coming pretty soon. All right, stay tuned, and once again, thanks for watching.